Okay. I'm still learning. I ain't very good at this, but we'll get there. Main thing is, every pipe belongs to the old dads. Vaporizer for me. How do you get high? It's clear. A toke or two. I believe that this is Huve, that which I'm growing in my grow room right now. The top of one of the strains, oh whatever, not strains, but the one of the characteristics of the one type. It's the shorter, bushier of the two. The one I call the more indica type. The other two were the same strain, but they took on the characteristics of the other plant, and they grew taller and more gangly, tight bud, great buds both ways. But it's like, different style. It's just the way it is. I'm a tester for seeds. That's what I got allowed by sub to do, and so I still kind of carry it on. Why that thing pops up on me? But oh, you want to play some music, Steve? Oh, I could. Let's do that. And on my music collection, Menado Boys comes up quickly, so I play it. You know what to do.
Dedicated to the ganja soldiers all over the world. Standing on the front line, fighting back against these corporations. The real cannabis culture. Never let them take it from us. Yo. I see the ones with the money, you're trying to take control. But they can't do it without the people who make it grow. They want to learn how it's done so they don't need us. We can't be eating these lies, they trying to feed us. Talking about putting the camera in my crop, violating my rights so the government can watch. I thought about the situation when I heard it. I know an average farmer can't afford it growing permit. They trying to limit the market and got hard, trying to take it from us and make us buy it from Walmart. They know we got the ball, they trying to intercept. Why these acres getting bought out by Marlboro cigarettes? They just trying to get a check and make $1 million. What about the farmers who do it just for the healing? That ain't the topic, they in it for the profit. Another dollar bill up in their pocket. They trying to take it from us. Standing my ground, fighting for my freedom, I can't let them take me down. I'm a soldier, at war with the law, in a battle for my rights.
2 channels out of 4.
They're trying to take it from us.
Put some bass in there.
Fighting for my freedom, I can't let them take me down. I'm a soldier, at war with the law, in the battle for my rights. What about the mom and pop grows?
That's Fuller.
They using it for medication, and you chalk those on the days when it got cold. They just trying to keep the heat on the only reason it got sold. Now what about the corporations?
Little high end.
I can only grow 6, they can have a
4 channels.
plantation. To me it's all about the patience. They ain't got no love for this culture, they in for paper chasing. Now what about those doing time? Now that it's legal, they can commit the same crime without having to walk the same line, never feel handcuffs on their wrist and pay fines. See, they don't even know the game. If we let them take control of it, things will never be the same. They want to hang us out to dry. Feel the pain when you look into a
So I'm using this laser
Standing my ground, fighting for my freedom. I can't let them take
on my
me
leg.
down. I'm a soldier, at war with the law, in the battle for my rights. They want to see me fall, they're trying to take it from us. Standing my ground, fighting for my freedom. I can't let them take me down. I'm a soldier, at war with the law, in the battle for my rights. They want to see me fall, they're trying to take it from us. They're trying to take it from us.
That was my
They're trying to take it from us. They're trying to take it from us. They're trying to take it from us.
1982 motorcycle accident
They'll never take it from us.
after a baseball game. Playing at. Unfortunately, did a little bit too much before I got on the bike, and because of that, pretty brutal accident. Punctured my lung. Aid car got to me right before I passed out, and I said, but my leg, my left leg, knee to ankle, fractured by a car that ran over it. And at least that's the way I look at it. But they pinned it back together and saved my leg, so I was able to walk for 35 years. Painful every step, sitting every step, sleeping every hour, every day. Painful, but you learn to live with that. You're glad to have your limb. Puffy. It was purple, but whatever. Went to a doctor finally, changed stuff around. Lady doctor, to give me some compression stockings, which I used. Hadn't gotten them for years, and she said, "When's the last time you saw a vascular surgeon?" And I said, "What?" And wrote me a prescription to see the doctor. And a couple weeks later, saw him, and he wrote me a date and a time to come and have the surgery, vascular surgery. He explained it, and I said, "Yeah, let's do it." Basically, I had too many veins after the accident, motorcycle accident, because I had developed new sporadic, out whatever extra veins. They just developed. I don't know how it happens, but they went in and they closed off one of those veins, and by doing so, and then to closing it off, they just make a little small incision, take a little microscopes in, they go in there, and then they cut the blood vessel and tied it up, I think, and then sealed me back up. Cool. A couple months later, or a month later, or whatever, a couple of days later, I was better already. But it's like, it started to improve, and a year went by, and I went, I wonder if they can do any more of this, because this is really good, but I can still see where the vascular issues are around this part of my lower leg. So I'm tenacious. So cool, he used to call me, and it's like, I got on the computer and started searching down doctors, and I went from, if you're in Seattle, Harborview Hospital, or the major trauma clinic in Seattle is Harborview, and that's who did the first surgery on my leg, my left leg. Yeah. And then did the follow-up surgery with the vascular surgery, closing up that little blood vessel 35 years later. But I thought Swedish hospital, which I'm Norwegian Swedish, so I've been there before anyway, but it's like Swedish has a whole bunch of vascular doctors, and I wondered if there was any more vascular work that could be done on this left leg. So I went and got an appointment with one of the nurses there, doctors there, and she did the exam and said, oh yeah, oh yeah. She could see, she knows the doctor that would do the work, and she can see exactly what they would do and blah, blah, blah. So I was all excited. And, but set up the date, and they were going to be out of the office and on vacation, but she said, there's other doctors that would take care of me. And it took 2 years of finding a doctor that did and would do it, and it was actually the first doctor that she knew. Long story short, it took a long time to get to it, but it's like, it's 7 vascular surgeries. I had a total of 4 doctors and in their doctor care students learning along the way. So it's like I've had a host of doctors doing vascular surgeries that got me started. Let's take a token shot. I like it. That's cheese quick. That's what I'm growing right now. This is from the other strain, which I grew first, or grew last, before this one, that everybody's watching me grow. It's not quite matured yet. It's been a month though. So it's through there. It's pretty smooth. But anyway, so 5 vascular surgeries, and then I had an ankle replacement because of the injuries. My ankle, your toes to your whatever fibia, your ankle. Mine was always swollen and always wouldn't move and was always solid. But I thought it was just because of being all the puffiness from the vascular surgery, the vascular stuff. But I've had cortisone shots. I've had, stuff like that for the pain. It helps, but didn't really, solve that much for that long. So I never really stuck with any of that stuff. I've had everything available that can be done to help on all these things. I've done. People, if anyone watches this, they'll say, "Oh, have you tried, massage therapy? Have you tried, heat guns? Have you tried, have you tried?" Pause pads or whatever they're called, those electrical stimulation pads. Yeah, I've got it all. I've got it all. Anyway, so it's like I've done everything. It's like, there ain't nothing, because people are giving me stuff or telling me stuff or doing stuff for doctors and stuff. Anyway, I just tell you what works. But found out they can do joint. Where the two meet together, your bone on bone, where the two meet together, the joints, those little compression pads, whatever. If your injury is such, there's my kitty telling me that she's in the house. What's up, kitty? Are you okay? Yeah, you're just telling me you're here. Okay. You're so loud. I know. Hard of hearing too, so it's just fun. She goes in and out, and she likes to tell me when she comes back in the house. I didn't know what it was at first, but it's like now we have a conversation. Anyway, um, so joints, my ankle. Um, I had again like five doctors saying that they could do it and getting me to the point of getting the surgery done, and then they delayed the time period, and it's like I finally found the doctor that did the surgery, and and uh, Nicholas Seibert, um, brother is just incredible. And he's one of the newer doctors that have been trained by some of the older ones, but he knows exactly what he's doing, and it's like, anyway. I had pain, and once they got the blood vessels, and less swelling, my pain increased and got worse because now I could actually move, and now when I move, it actually is painful. So, you know, I thought, well, I wonder if, I found the dude to replace this, Nicholas Seibert. Shit. It's really, really a quick surgery. Stay overnight so they can watch you, and make sure that you're okay. They send you home, and you're walking within, I'm guessing, but probably a month or two. Um, Actually, I think earlier than that, you can bear weight on it because it's like, yeah, no, 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 no. You have to stay off your joint for the healing process to go through. And if I'm not mistaken, it is screwed in place. I can't remember. It may not be screwed in place. It may be glued. It's like I'm not positive. I'm not fucking positive of that. I've had too many surgeries and I've seen too many of my pictures to be a little to get a good picture of it right now. But the main thing is, where those two joints meet, that little cartilage in between, they can replace just that as long as your bones are still intact and in fairly good shape. They do it on athletes all the time, and this is just what they can do. And it's like, I got one of their surgeons to work on me. It's this type of practice anyway. Whatever. When I have injuries, this 35 years later, they developed all these things, and it's like, now that they have, I got it done. Anyway, they got my left leg. It's still healing. This is now 10 years after the first surgery, so we're just 9 years, whatever. I can't remember the dates exactly, but it's like, um, by finding out what they could do on my left leg, my right leg, which was my third accident, which I had, which was when I got run over by a young girl who stole her parents' car. Joyride. I'd done that. Uh, we met up, and that one killed me. Um, but here I am. My right leg, because I was so out of it, had a double break, and my family members couldn't be contacted, and so they didn't reset the leg, and it healed as it was because they thought I was going to be dead, and so I was 3/4 of an inch shorter on that side, with the double break sticking out sideways on the inside of my leg. So it was very painful to be ever if I ever touched or hit or ran into anything or bumped anything. Um, and just painful in general every time you move. You know, it happens. It gets better, but it never goes away. But after I found out they could do the surgery, it had some swelling in it. They did some vascular. I said, can they do stuff on my vascular with the third vascular doctor that I had? And she says, oh, hell yeah. So she completed my left leg and started and completed in 2 surgeries my right leg. Didn't know they could do it. It's like, you know, I had some varicose vein vascular issues on both legs. They're gone now. It's like, you know, it's pretty clean. I'm just, you know, yeah, whatever. Anyway, but I said, can they shorten my left leg or, you know, do something with the right leg to get me up to normal length? Because my hips, you know, are out of place. All right, whatever. You understand. Maybe you don't. New laser. This is my good one. This one's almost gone on me. The buttons don't work good, so it's like I gotta... There we go, finally got them on. This is my favorite laser. Okay, the dude that did my left leg, ankle, his care team suggested the surgeon at Swedish to do my right leg, which had the double break, because that was his expertise. I didn't know they did. That's who he is. Set up an appointment, met him a couple months down the road, busy guy. Son of a bitch comes out just nice as hell, so sympathetic, touches the wound so very gingerly. Oh, ooh, you must hurt. Yeah, not that bad, buddy. You know, come on. You know, you're being way too gentle. And he said, well, I looked at your x-rays and it's like, I see what you know, that is what I do. However, I know a doctor who I have lunch with once a month, and he is the one to see. Wrote me a prescription, sent me out there, back to Harborview, and David Beret. He's the dude that did my right leg. I almost get emotional about it just because of the fact that, you know, what it took and the new developments that they have done that can do this shit. First off, yeah, this is what he does, is he re-breaks and resets and fixes tibias, knee to ankle. That's his specialty. And in doing so, the first surgery, which he was there, he was involved in that one. I think he was the surgeon, but he's a teaching son of a bitch. He's got like at least 60 students a day, I'm guessing, that he interacts with through class. I don't even want to get into it. You know, through their surgery practices, you know, as they're becoming surgeons and getting their whatever. You know, he whatever. He's a busy mother frigger. But The first surgery is to go back in where the two breaks were and to re-break them and to put them back together corrected. But in doing so, puts a titanium rod all the way from knee to ankle inside your bone to stabilize it as it grows. How clever. Becomes solid as a rock that way. And, oh heck, I had to give myself injections twice a day with this stuff, whatever it is in my blood, in my body to keep from clotting. Did not like that. But after 11 months, a year, go back in for the healing, to see the doctor again for the third or fourth time that I'd maybe seen him. Usually I would see his assistants to set things up and do all the crap. But he said, how's it feel and all that kind of crap. And it's like, do you wish to go forward with another surgery now, or is this the way you want to keep it? Now I'm, whatever, 5/8 or 11/16, just almost an inch, wobble. Been doing it anyway, so it's like, of course I want to have the surgery to lengthen it. I didn't know what it entailed. I just thought they'd chop it and put a new sized bone in there or something like that, Not at all. Not at all. This is where you learn a new technique that I didn't know they had. They do go in, and at a different spot on that tibia, knee to ankle, they slice it again in another spot where it's never been cut before, and this time, where that titanium rod is, they put two inserts with sleeves and threads. I believe that the maximum length is 3 inches, so it may go into your tibia for whatever, 3 inches or more along the length of the inside of it. I don't know. But the main thing is, it's threaded, precisely threaded, these really fine threads. Okay, threads it all up, puts it all back together, seals me up, and doctor comes in the next day, says, how do you feel and all that kind of crap. Great. I'll be having a technician come in and explain what your post-surgery job is going to be, and that was all good. Dude comes in and has a suitcase and takes out this magnetic computerized thing. It's about 16, 17 inches, 18 inches maybe long, about 4 or 5 inches wide, and about 3 inches tall, thick. So it's like a bread box, or I mean an eggshell crate, the size of an eggshell crate. That's a good description. It's made to sit upon your joint, your tibia. So it's got kind of indentations and little sleeves that move, gels, gel pads. But it sits right on your skin. It has to be real close to you. And it's all I think there's a wireless device that you use, or maybe buttons that you push on the machine. I can't remember. But you turn it on, and it's pre-programmed for the length of time. And what it does, it goes click, 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 and it makes this noise for I can't remember if it was less than a minute or for 3 minutes. Not painful at all, but what it's doing is those screws that were put inside your tibia, it's unscrewing, or it's unscrewing you and lengthening my leg. Just a fragment at a day, at a time, twice a day, for about a month. And after about a week or two, you could really feel that your leg was getting longer again. And after a couple of weeks, they're almost normal. And 3 weeks, and it's like, dang, you know, you're not able to put weight on it yet, so you're really not able to, but you can judge just by putting it on the ground, you know. You don't want to screw things up, this is 45 years of injury that I'm healing. Anyway, the machine shuts off when it reaches the set time and length that the doctor has set it for. It's like, it's pre-programmed computer, so it's like it already knows if you did or did not do the session, and it makes up for any mistakes that you make. So it's like it's freaking just incredible. But that's been over a year now of healing, and it's finally now healing all the way along from tibia, because there was six doctors to work on just the last surgery on that leg. They came in, and they were all his students, but all specialists in knee, ankle, and the little device, which is pretty cool. But anyway, let me. Oh, good. See, take one toe. Appropriate. Mrs. said, "Oh well, have a dank day," as he'd say.